really healthy contingent of Shots fans here, listeners, I can tell you that. A couple of hundred already, directly opposite where James and I are, which is about a third of the way into the right-hand half of the pitch, and then another couple of hundred in two banks of seating in the away stand, or rather the stand away to our right. Shots team have just finished their warm-up. Good to see one or two of them doing it in short sleeve shirts today. Surprised me a little. It is rather nippy, but talking of pitches as well, few issues with the pitch obviously at the EBB at the minute. It's cost a couple of postponements lately. The pitch here has traditionally been a nightmare, much better the last couple of seasons, but not great today. Don't think it's the sort of day where it'll affect it too much. Do you, James?
I'm looking at it. It's quite sandy, isn't it?
It's quite sandy,
yeah, but both teams seem to play the right way. What I've seen of Eastleigh this year so far, and Shots, I'm really looking forward to seeing more of today. Always an interesting fixture, as I said at the start of this one, and it's very well supported from both sides. And it's great to see so many Shots fans in presence here.
Yeah, it'll be the biggest gate of the season, I think, here. Unless they're playing at home to York or something, or Oldham on the last couple of days. Right, going to get ready to do a little two-way chat in a minute. Absolutely, and the former Chesterfield and Fylde and Gloucester manager as well, and currently James Rowe available for work.
Well, I've got two sons under 3.5, so I'm not that available, Rob.
Fair enough, exactly. He needs to get out of all those daddy duties. But listen, let's get on with the job in hand, James. Great to have you alongside us today. Aldershot and Eastleigh, it's a difficult puzzle to kind of work out, particularly from afar, I'm sure. Eastleigh probably underperforming on their budget, and Aldershot a little bit below par as well, but oddly Aldershot unbeaten in 10 games coming into this one. How important is it that they've been ticking over with cup wins and making themselves hard to beat in those league games?
Yeah, it's a very interesting one in terms of form. Eastleigh coming in with 2 wins from 9, Aldershot 1 from 9 in the league, but quite rightly, as you said, Aldershot on a good unbeaten run, and hopefully they can take that confidence into the game. My heart says obviously Aldershot, and my head says a draw going into this. Look at the stats, the last 9 for both.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had 7 draws in the last 10 playing of this fixture here at the Silver Lake. So the Shots have only lost twice on 8 occasions here, if you want to put it in a more positive one. What about that Eastleigh team news, James? You've got known Paul McCallum at the minute. They're having to crack on without him. They brought in Rakeal Pike. He got injured 10 minutes into last week's game. And they've got Scott Quigley, the former top scorer in the National League, and he's still only on the bench. I think they'll go possibly with Tyrese Shade up top. What's your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the front two work for Eastleigh. One might drop off, so it could turn into a diamond. We're not sure how that's going to work, so it'll be interesting to see. But from the outside looking in, you would think that obviously Scott would start the game, but you never know. It could have picked up a knock, it could be a fitness issue, but it's a surprising one for sure.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much. Really pleased, Tim, to have the insight of James Rowe alongside me today. It's no coincidence if you've got a win ratio of about 59-60%. So hopefully, at the very least, we'll get everything right on the sidelines here today in the commentary box. Eastleigh against Shots coming up for our online listeners at 3 o'clock. I think he means Woking. Oh, that's it. Okay, it is 10 to 3, so we'll get going this afternoon. I particularly want to make a speedy start today because it will be nice to have a little bit of a chat with someone who spent an awful lot of time at the EBB, largely working alongside Gary Waddock. But James, great to have you with us this afternoon. How are you keeping? A little bit of time out from football, but I know you've been keeping across these games at National League and an EFL level.
Yeah, certainly picked up. It's lovely to be out and about again. Last couple of months and watching a hell of a lot more football than I had been. Getting to grips again with the level. Surprised where both teams are in the league coming into today, with such potential at both clubs. So it's going to be an interesting game for sure, as I said at the start.
As a manager who's obviously been there in the dugout and now has had an opportunity to step back a little bit for the game, whilst I'm sure you won't be particularly privy to all the finer details or whatever, talk about what it's like trying to manage the emotions and the highs and the lows, because I don't know to what extent they played a part in Aldershot manager Tommy Widdrington's medical issues. You'll be aware, I'm sure, that he had a couple of strokes in the back end of last year. It's great to see him back with us now, but they've had to check him medically to make sure he's back and up to this, because it's probably a job that strains the emotions more than most, isn't it?
Yeah, first and foremost, obviously health comes before anything, and seeing Tommy just before I came on air is great. He looks well and he looks very up for the game. It's all encompassing. I think Ben's recent statement, if you like, when he's left Dagenham, I think his statement on the family, about his family and the strain on that, it can be very emotional. It is up and down, but it's definitely not a job for the week.
No. His management team, who worked with him for a long time, particularly Hugo, Richard and Dave, they kept things ticking along while Tommy was absent. He was still pulling the strings that he could from afar, and the shots have, I think it's fair to say, probably been plodding along a little bit in the National League. They've had one eye over one shoulder and another one looking forward, and they've certainly threatened James without giving it just as I see it, really. The majority of the recent draws in the league, a lot of them were draws on the edge of wins rather than draws on the edge of defeats. What have you picked up on Eastleigh? I think you saw them relatively recently. What are they missing apart from the obvious in Paul McCallum, who can win a match on his own?
I think Eastleigh's had potential for a decade. I'm at the ground now, haven't been for a few years, but it's building up slowly as well. The support base is building up. Their budget's always strong. They'll be disappointed with their league position, that's without a doubt. And today's a big game for both clubs. I think even though the recent form of Aldershot has not warranted enough wins from perhaps the performances like you just said, they need to be on the right side of a result today and over the coming weeks to make sure they don't slip into the bottom four and be looking upwards. In terms of Eastleigh, without a doubt, their objective for the season would have been playoffs as a minimum. So they still can get there. It's very congested, but what they don't want to do is and slip too far away from that 7th place.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look at the table, listeners, Eastleigh are probably the last team that you might give a chance to get in the playoffs. I think Tamworth are on similar points, but you have to say at Tamworth, as a part-time club coming up to this level without the resource of the others, that's a massive overachievement, isn't it? To be 75-80% safe already at this stage, not too long into the new year, is remarkable testament to the job Andy Peakes is doing, isn't it?
It's incredible, especially with the FA Cup run on top of that as well, and the resources that would bring in for the following 12 months, so they can perhaps have a bit more resources put into their playing budget next year and get closer to those playoffs. I think anything above the bottom 4 for Tamworth would have been their objective. So yeah, they're overachieving. The manager's done very well, albeit a different kind of style perhaps, but it's a results business, and they're certainly picked up enough results this season.
We'll go through the teams in a bit more detail closer to the kickoff, which is 6 minutes or so away, listeners. But James, just picking out a couple of names perhaps from each team. Who has impressed you that you're looking forward to seeing in the Eastleigh side, and also from the Aldershot Town 11, one or two that you've either heard good things about or you're looking forward to seeing?
From the Eastleigh side, I think the central midfielder Angel Waru, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Waru, that's it.
Waru. He's 21. He's come from Brentford B. It's his first full season in the National League, and he's certainly picked up the appearances. And last week at Forest Green, he impressed, and he's got a lot of development in him. I think seeing Joe today in goal for Eastleigh, a stalwart at this level, a really solid goalie, obviously picked up a couple of mistakes last week, so it'll be interesting to see where he's at, and hopefully, as I said, my heart says Aldershot. Hopefully he can be tested well today.
Yeah, Tyrese Shade we think will probably be the forward most player for Eastleigh. Now I've come to feast my eyes on him in the last year or two as somebody who attacks from width, but he is amongst their top scorers this season, and that might be one of the main reasons why he's there today. Yeah,
he might move off the front. We're not sure if he'll play right against the centre halves, but if he gets on the half turn, he's a dangerous player. As we know, he's got pace, dribbling ability and finishing, so he'll need to be kept quiet for sure.
Yeah, and in the Aldershot side, I don't suppose you'll have seen perhaps Luca Woodhouse or Will Armitage play yet, but you'll know all about Josh Barrett, even if you've not seen him too much in the flesh. 2 massive highlights reels this season we could put together. One is of all the moments that have come off, which thankfully is getting a little bit longer now, and an awful lot of near misses. He's troubled the woodwork more times than any other player in the National League, and he's level on hitting the woodwork with Mo Salah this season.
Yeah. He's an enigma.
He is exactly that. He's having the best season of his professional career, certainly at this level of football anyway. We are awaiting the teams now, listeners. We'll keep you across all the other fixtures in the National League this afternoon as well as ever. I'm going to say upwards of 500 Aldershot Town fans opposite us and away to our right, and a little bit of open terracing as well, which is surprisingly popular, and that popularity may be to do with the lack of room in the other 2 areas, to be honest with you. But the Shots fans making great noise over on the far side, ready to welcome their side, and we've got a lot of youngsters with Spitfires flags ready, with a guard of honour here for the 2 teams as we await them. 14th placed Eastleigh and 19th placed Aldershot Town. Who knows what we're in for this afternoon, but thanks for joining us. I'm Rob Worrell. Alongside me is the former Chesterfield, Fylde, Gloucester manager, and also the former assistant manager of Aldershot Town. A couple of heady playoff seasons alongside Gary Waddock. So near but so far. And here comes our referee Stuart Morland leading out the teams. 11 games in the National League this season, 59 yellows and 4 reds. He was also the referee for Aldershot's 2-2 draw away to Gateshead. The Shots this afternoon led out by Aaron Jones, and line up as follows: Marcus Dewhurst in goal, Ollie Scott, Luca Woodhouse and Will Armitage the back 3, Tyler Frost, Cameron Hargreaves, Theo Widrington and Aaron Jones the Shots skipper across the middle, left to right, and then Henry and Barrett supporting Jack Barham up top. For the Spitfires, we think Joe McDonnell in goal, Niall Mayer, Francilette and Fernandez the back 3, Jai Semenyo the left wing back, Richard Brinley on the right, Jake Taylor their skipper, and Angel Warue in the centre of midfield, and then Ben Close attacking on the left, Jez Uchegbalum on loan for the rest of the season from Oldham on the right, and Tyrese Shade we think up top. But as you've said, James, it'd be interesting to see the fine detail amongst that Eastleigh formation, which is not as easy to predict as the Aldershot one, is it?
No, with Shade coming back in this week. Jay's obviously led the line himself really last week, so it'll be interesting to see exactly where Shade ends up, and I'm sure we'll pick it up quickly and let the listeners know.
I think regular listeners will know that Aldershot don't have the best defensive record in the National League. In fact, they have the 4th most porous defence. However, they are the 9th top scorers in the National League and have scored 42 goals this season. Eastleigh have scored 38, but a lot of those 38 goals are not starting today. The Eastleigh line up with 18 goals in it, and Aldershot Town's starting 11 has 42 goals. pretty much all the goals they've scored this season are in that starting lineup, James. And I mean, that's a stat. I don't know if you'd ever even look at that as a manager, would you? I don't know.
I need to get you in as my analyst.
Sorry?
I need you in as my analyst.
There we go. Excellent. I look forward to that
incredible stat.
Job invitation. Okay, we're almost ready to go. The shots are in their all black away strip. Eastleigh are pretty much in all blue with white trim, and they are going to kick left to right. So towards the end, away to our right, which is split 50-50, and where the groups of fans have merged close to the middle, just to give each other a little bit of banter. Aldershot kicking away from the end where all their supporters are housed in the first half, and we're underway here at the Silver Lake. Dewhurst gets the ball, sends it forward towards Barham. The knockdown finds an Eastleigh player. His forward ball is cut out by Ollie Scott, and it'll be a throw to Eastleigh, 1/3 of the way into the shots half, directly below James Rowe and myself, Rob Worrell. The back three for Eastleigh is as we predicted. Mayer on the left, Francillet in the middle, and Fernandez on the right. Good headed winner from Luca Woodhouse. Ball cleared away by Ollie Scott, and he's just caught the foot of an Eastleigh player, or he's caught him with his foot, and Eastleigh have got themselves an interesting free kick here. Early doors, James. We are less than a minute in. An early opportunity for Taylor to show us what he can do from set pieces.
Yeah, disappointing. Give away sloppy free kicks like that early on to give the opposition a chance to load the box, but they've got quite a bit of height in the team, so it'll be an interesting set play, this one, early doors.
Yeah, Taylor to take. Chris Maguire is only on the bench as well. There must be a story behind that one. What a player he was at this level last year for Eastleigh. Taylor then, with the right-footed free kick, clips it into the middle, and it's one in the air by Luca Woodhouse. And then a swing and a miss from Jez Uchegbulum, the Oldham loanee. Eastleigh have got it back again. There's a pigeon on the pitch. It's in the right wing-back position at the moment, and it's unmarked and it wants the ball, but I don't think Joe McDonald spotted it, and he's probably going to go up the middle. And yeah, it does look like they're trying to play two fairly centrally there. Uchegbulum not really on the wing, is he? He's much more inside with shade.
No, we weren't sure how they're going to set up, but they've got Ben Close as a sitter as the sixth position, 2 8s in front, Taylor and obviously Oru, and the two flat strikers, Jez and up against the back three of Aldershot.
Yeah, good spot. Thank you, James. That's why we got his insight here today. Shots take the free kick through Dewhurst out to Ollie Scott. He's clipping the ball up the left channel, and it's headed into touch by Fernandez, who my memory, not my research, is telling me I think he scored last time in that 3-goal win for Eastleigh that was live on TV. Here's Tyler Frost getting past his man Brindley, tries an early ball in, but in fact a very late decision from the assistant referee to say the ball's in touch, and it'll be a throw in to Eastleigh. 2.5 minutes gone here, and it is Eastleigh 0, Aldershot Town 0. And so far as we can see, no goals elsewhere in the National League as yet. Eastleigh take the throw. Fernandez sends it forward. Another good leap from Ollie Scott. And then he chests the next ball down, sends it forward. Volleyed forward by Francillet. And Will Armitage, the Southampton loanee, sends it to Aaron Jones, who hooks it first time forward towards Barham. He can't get it. Theo Widdrington touches the ball back to Luca Woodhouse, and he plays it out to Ollie Scott. He wants a short option. He's going to have to send it up again. He's looking for Barrett. Barrett won't win it, but he'll get on to Fernandez' header. Brings it down nicely. Tries a little ball into the box, and it's an awkward one, and it's cleared away and spinning viciously, and Aldershot Town win the first corner of the afternoon. A little bit of nervy defending there, James.
Yeah, it was good play from Josh. He brought it down well. Great control, and asked the question with the delivery. So a good position here. Oh, short.
Yeah, short corner taken from Barrett to Widdrington. Back to Barrett. He's into the penalty area. Tries a shot. Little deflection on it. Oh, and it's back-heeled towards the goal. A really clever little idea there from James Henry, the Aldershot Town top scorer. And they say the goals don't move. On this occasion, he needed it to shift to the right, the goal, didn't he?
Yeah, very positive though.
Yeah.
Little 2v1 from the short corner. Josh opened it up for himself on his right foot, and a cross shot, if you like, and James nearly scored there with the flick. So nice and positive in the first 5 minutes from the shots.
And the shots with a top scorer with the same Christian name as yourself. Yeah, that's James Henry I'm talking about, and James Rowe alongside me, Rob Worrell for BBC Surrey. There's a long ball forward. It will go all the way through to Marcus Dewhurst. He's caught it. He jumps to evade a collision with Tyrese Shade. Still got the ball in his hands. Comes to the edge of his box. And really interesting the way Eastleigh is setting up there with 4 players trying to stop Aldershot playing out from the back. And they do force Dewhurst to go long. Barham gets a flick on, but he's the furthermost player, and that will go through to Joe McDonnell, who's had a couple of early touches. Just what you want when you're a keeper that's made a fairly crucial mistake in a recent game. Of course, that live TV game here last year on TNT Sports in their last season of coverage, that horrible moment for Jordi van Schuff, who came out of his area, caught the Eastleigh player and ended up getting sent off. And as Eastleigh put on their social media this morning, last time out, Eastleigh banging 3 goals past Lauren Tollage. Oh, the irony of that one. You had to chuckle at it. Painful memories, Shots fans, isn't it? But throw into Eastleigh again, right in front of James and myself, a third of the way into the Aldershot half. It's thrown backwards by Brinley to Fernandez. Brinley with the ball down the line. Ollie Scott's well positioned to get there or to see it out. He sees it out, gets a little bit of a push, runs behind. Referee Stuart Morland sees no reason to give a free kick. It would have been much the same end result anyway. Any thoughts, words on Kelvin Davis, the Eastleigh manager? He was previously, I think, at Southampton, if I remember right. One of the coaches, I think, wasn't he? But not somebody I've come across otherwise. No,
I've not come across him as yet, but obviously just a very good career from the Premier League. Just watching this play out, this bit here.
No foul given there, but brilliant tracking back from Hargreaves, who finds Aaron Jones, and he goes back to Dewhurst. Did look as though Luca Woodhouse might have just been pushed a little bit onto the ball.
That was a foul, Rob.
I thought it was a foul. I mean,
definite foul.
And probably the main reason why the Eastleigh fans didn't appeal for a penalty, because he was pushed onto it with his arm, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was a foul.
But in the end, nothing given. Aldershot clear their lines. Sort of incident we'd only talk about if it led to a goal. We've moved on. Barrett, Henry, onto the right wing to Aaron Jones, and then
foul as well.
Hargreaves thinks he's fouled, but nothing given by referee Morland. And Eastleigh come away down the left-hand side with Shade. Shade back on his right foot is poked away by James Henry. But Eastleigh will spread it out to the right side where Fernandez is well forward. Jack Barham comes in, gets a foot on it and plays it off of Fernandez into touch. Well done, both Henry before and Jack Barham. The front 3, James, but working back for the team, just what you'd want, wouldn't you?
Yes, great work, done very well there. I think there's a couple of fouls just before that the refs let go, so hopefully that's a sign of things to come. If he's going to play that consistently, it should make for a really good open flowing game. Just a thought overall, the picture I'm seeing is it's man for man really, other than the spare centre half for both teams. So whoever's going to dictate the possession, that spare centre half's crucial, so we'll see how that unfolds.
Okay. Here is Uchegbulum down the right hand side. Ball's squared in. Luca Woodhouse should get onto it. It does really well. Sharp turn as well. Buys himself time and space and spreads it out to the right hand side. A little bit of difference in quality there. Here's Barrett getting buffeted as he goes backwards. Now he turns inside. Can he get away from his man? He does go back to Armitage. And Armitage,
if they work this quick, you can get to the spare man. Here we go.
Yeah, here he is.
Half out.
Yeah, Ollie Scott, and that is the idea of him being in the left centre back position, that he can make these runs. He still goes forward. Now he comes up against 4 Eastleigh players and goes back to Hargreaves. And we're going to update our radio listeners. Yeah, we are almost 9 minutes in. It's 0-0. Little cheeky flick back heel from Henry. Just missed the target. That's the only real chance of the game so far. Pretty even start, played at a good tempo, and as James Rowe alongside me has pointed out, both sides going pretty much man for man. Sometimes you might do that when you want to make you want to go all out to win a game. Here's Theo Widrington sending a ball in from out to the left side. It's headed back in. Just stay with us, Tim, in case the shots can get on the end of it. Hargreaves picks it up on the edge of the box. Barham will scamper to pick it up, and Aldershot again on the edge of that final third. Lovely ball out to the right hand side to Aaron Jones, who sends it into Barrett. Barrett sends it in. It's headed away, and Eastleigh should complete the clearance, Tim. 9.5 minutes gone, but in the game that has finished as a draw 7 times in the last 10 years, no surprises that almost 10 minutes in, it's 0-0. James, Eastleigh player down on the far side, stoppage in play, but the early indications are the game's not going to be a plodding game, is it? It's going to be played at a good level of intensity.
Pretty frenetic, quite considerable amount of turnovers, as you'd expect in a fixture like this, and not a lot of chances, but the one chance that's fallen to James Henry, could have done better with the flick, but come from a very intelligent short corner from Josh Barrett. So it's what I expected. And as we plod along frenetically plod along into the midway, we'll have a little bit more of an idea who might take control of this game.
Absolutely. First goal, so often crucial. I've got a few stats on Eastleigh's ability to do that, and then Shade can't keep that ball in on the left hand side. It's him who finds himself on the wing at the moment. Interesting the way that Eastleigh are setting up, because I think Uchegbalam from a central position can quite happily drop out wide and be in his comfort zone, and Shade on the left, and it's not something you see very often, is it? Particularly two strikers who are formerly wingers, who are trying to work as a pair. And here's a ball forward. Barrett on the left, can he keep it in on the right hand touchline? He can. Pulls it back to Henry. Henry gives it back to him again, and he skips inside. Now back to Aaron Jones, and Jones inside to Theo Widrington. He again finds Ollie Scott, and I think that looks the best hope for Aldershot, is if they work it quickly enough, they can get Ollie Scott away. There's a ball into the feet of Cameron Hargreaves. He shepherds it into position for Frost. Lovely looking cross, left-footed from Frost, and then Aaron Jones just catches. I think it might be Tyrone. No, it's not. I can't see who it is there. It may be Ben Close. Semenyo, beg your pardon. But I think the referee accepting that it's a coming together, and certainly a referee who's suggested in these opening 12 minutes that he's not going to give the little ones, the little niggly ones, and like you say, as a manager, as a player, you just want that consistency throughout, don't you?
It's got to be consistent, so yeah. I like it. It's good, sets it up lovely, but it's got to be consistent.
Here's Frost receiving the ball on the left touchline, but shifted it back onto his left foot. Ollie Scott sends it forward down the left side. It's going to find touch down in the Eastleigh right back position. They'll have a throw level with the edge of their own penalty area. And in terms of goals in the National League, well, this probably isn't too surprising. Braintree have taken the lead against Forest Green. The only reason I say it is because you only really judge Forest Green on what they do in the last 10 minutes, don't you? I mean, they're forever digging out draws from defeats and wins from draws. They certainly go about things the hard way, don't they? Farnborough 1-0 up in the National League South. Worthing a goal down and Dorking a goal up. Dave Miles, who's in Saudi Arabia and travelling over for the game next weekend at home to Hartlepool, that's been dubbed as the return of the Strays, is listening in. He'll be there next week. Here's Semenyo, not going to be able to keep that ball in. It's greeted with huge jeers from the Shots fans in front of him and to the side of him. David Miles also says, bring the points home, see you all next week. Steve Ray is in the Isle of Wight. I'm here on the other side of the Solent listening in. And elsewhere in the National League, there's also been an away goal for in-form Altrincham. And here's Ollie Scott sending the ball down the left channel again. Barham's jumping with Fernandez, who wins it. Taylor's first to react to the loose ball. He's under pressure from Hargreaves. Brindley takes it under. He's almost dispossessed by Barham. But then Woodhouse, Frost and Barham again send it inside to James Henry, who shakes off his man. He's the edge. He's going to try a shot from distance. Doesn't quite get hold of it. It's on target. One bounce and into the midriff of Joe McDonnell. The second effort on either goal of the game and the first one on target. 40 minutes gone, 0-0. James Rowe.
That's happened a couple of times now where it's dropped down and James has got the better of Ben Close on the 1v1 duel. So something to keep an eye on that, because he's more athletic and stronger when it's popping down. So he's broken off there twice already though.
Woodhouse again beating a Chegbulum in the air, but then as the ball comes inside, Angel Warouye wins his header, and then Shade treads on the ball in full flow, but it falls nicely for Semenyo, and then the ball goes back, and Aaron Jones is fouled, but he gets the ball anyway. So again the referee plays on. Surely he will have seen that foul. Aldershot keep possession, and Luca Woodhouse will thread the ball to Ollie Scott, who has to go long central. Barham bounces off his man and then comes in to try and win it, and he catches Richard Brindley. And I think he was going full tilt, and I think the referee hopefully recognises that's why he had a coming together. He's just given a free kick. If the referee wanted to, he could possibly show yellow for that, but hopefully he's going to use a bit of common sense. James, I don't think Barham could stop his run, could he? That's
no, it's not a yellow. Get up and get on with it.
Yeah, he's got the yellow. And
that's out of sync to how he's refereed the first 15 minutes for me.
It is really. I thought he might have given a bit of common sense, a bit of benefit of the doubt, and then the first minor foul that he deems to be a foul, he shows the yellow card with, and you'd hope there'd be a bigger spectrum, wouldn't you?
Definitely. As I said, it's out of sync for the first 15 minutes of how he's refereed the game. It's right in front of us here. Got a good view of it. No surprise that Brindley's back on his feet really quickly, and we're about to get away.
Stuart Morland averages 5.5 yellows per game, which I'm really saddened to say, listeners, is not too high above the average these days, unfortunately.
Just a separate thought that we were talking about the two strikers for Eastleigh. I think it's interesting when Eastleigh are getting the ball that they're splitting out on the outside centre half of Aldershot and looking for the channel pulls. If say McCallum was playing, he'd work off the central one and look for the diagonals in the air, which Eastleigh have done earlier in this season from what I've seen before this game. So it's an interesting sort of tactic there. Let's proceed and we'll see how it unfolds and see if I can pick that one up, that second ball.
Here's Taylor sending the ball inside, cleared away by Armitage, but only as far as Semenyo, who feeds it out to Tyrese Shade on the edge of the penalty area, drifts towards the byline, tries to get it in, it's cut out by Will Armitage, and behind for Eastleigh's first corner of the game in the 17th minute. It's goalless, one corner each, very little in it. Who will strike first today?
And that was an example of Tyrese picking it up on the outside shoulder, the right centre half for Aldershot. So they're sort of working those areas.
Okay, Froncilette's up there alongside Will Armitage. Huge frame that he is. Taylor is going to take it. He's encouraging his players to get right in on the goal line, where there'll be 4 Eastleigh players. I think there might be six Aldershot players. In it comes, ricochet, and it falls nicely into the hands of Dewhurst, who really wants to get Aldershot on the attack quickly. Sends the ball up to Barham. Lovely little flick into the path of Frost, who's running towards the penalty area. Checks back on his right foot, and the ball goes behind for a corner. And how on earth can the Eastleigh player be complaining about that corner, unless he maybe felt it came back and hit Frost again? But it's a corner anyway, and I thought it was a corner. What did you think, James?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what he's complaining about there.
Yeah.
I'll speak in a minute.
Yeah, they've taken it short again. Barrett and Widrington. Barrett's into the penalty area, plays it into Hargreaves. He's going to give it back to Widrington. Skips out to the right, flicks it into the path of Hargreaves. Now Widrington again. Just make room for the cross. Sends it in left-footed to the far stick, and it's a good jump and claim from McDonnell. Given it's not his stronger foot, that was a lovely ball in actually from Theo Widgerton. He can only stick it there on the money, as we call it. So a couple of shots towards goal for the side in black today, Aldershot, and one of them just wide, one of them on target from Henry. Never troubled McDonnell, nor did that cross, but it might have done. I thought he adjusted his feet really well there to spring up, and there's a good headed winner from Tyler Frost, who comes up above Richard Brindley. I think despite the fact, as you say, that the two Eastleigh strikers are peeling wide, it's amazing how many times Luca Woodhouse has been able to get up and win a ball in the air already. There's a ball in over everybody from Brindley. Nice idea, but all the personnel were in front, behind or to the side of it, and it'll be a goal kick to the shots. 19 minutes gone.
I'm surprised on how passive the wing backs are for Eastleigh. Certainly when one wing back's crossing the ball, the other wing back should have been there. It was a good delivery if the left wing back was in the right position.
It's a smart turn from Aaron Jones, but then he runs out of pitch. He feels he's been checked by Semenyo, but nothing given by the referee, who just shrugs his shoulders. Early goal for Wealdstone on their travels, and that could be a big and important one at the bottom end of the National League. They are 1-0 up away at Yeovil. Not really been going their way this season, whether it's the loss of managers or the loss of players. Enzio Boldwine, the former Eastleigh player, has got that goal. Throw in then Semenyo to take down the left side up towards Echegbalum, who turns against Armitage. Quick footwork, he's got away from him, now he's up against Aaron Jones. Shot comes in, an absolute sizzler, which caught an Aldershot player and went behind, but the referee hasn't spotted it. And as soon as Echegbalum appeals for a corner, referee Stuart Morland shows a yellow card in his face. You can't appeal.
I think he actually booked shade. Shade, but both of them went after him.
Right.
Take your pick.
Yeah. Okay, but this is crazy. I mean, I understand what dissent is, and if it involves swear words, it'll always be a yellow card. But it seems to me now you can't even appeal anymore for anything, James.
It was so blatant as well, wasn't it? The corner.
It was a clear touch.
Tommy will be pleased it was a goal kick. That's for sure.
Surely a referee must see, when he sees a team immediately all the same react, that's a corner, he's got to realise that maybe something's happened he hasn't seen, rather than somebody's trying to get in his notebook, you know. Crazy stuff. And a referee has shown two pretty needless yellows, one to each side early on. Oh, lovely take and turn from James Henry. Squares it to Barrett. He's got Aaron Jones on his way on the right side. Barrett doesn't bother with the two touches. He just sends it straight out there. And now Jones sends it back into Henry. Henry to Hargreaves. Hargreaves back to Henry. And Aldershot on the edge of the final third now with Ollie Scott. Sends it out to Tyler Frost. And Eastleigh have now gone back into their full out of possession shape. Luca Woodhouse with a nice weight of pass into Frost. He's cutting into the middle. He's into the penalty area now. He's going to the byline. He squares it across, and it's definitely a cross rather than the shot, but it was hit at the pace of a shot, and unfortunately it just drifts out of play. A little bit of quality lacking there from Tyler Frost, but his invention prior to the ball across was excellent, wasn't it?
Yeah, from left to right really. In the first 20 minutes is where most of the dangers come from Aldershot's attacking play, and Frost has shown some good endeavour down here. I'd say he's broken past challenges, he's connected well with the front two and James Henry a couple of times, and impressive start from Frost on the left.
So 22 minutes gone, Henry twice and Frost with the only efforts anywhere near goal so far. Eastleigh, who have scored 4 goals less than Aldershot in the National League, but have a considerably better defence, and that's why they're in 14th place and Aldershot are in 19th at the start of play. Here's Frost getting the ball back from Henry after a throw. Good footwork from Frost. He's up against Fernandez, sends it inside to Theo Widrington. Aaron Jones wants it on the right side, but if they get it to him, it'll come through Will Armitage, as it does now. Henry's out there to assist him. Jones sends it into Widrington. Clipped ball into the area. Headed away by Fernandez. Taken down nicely, controlled by Taylor, but then Hargreaves punches in and nicks the ball, as he does so well. An Aldershot coming through Ollie Scott. Scott to Frost. Frost with the ball in. Should be cleared away by Francillet, who's previously scored against Aldershot, who's previously been stretchered off against Aldershot, and I think he's previously been sent off against Aldershot. Something always happens with Francillet. Yes, 23 and a half minutes gone here at the Silver Lake, and it is still 0, but Aldershot possibly shading that first 23 minutes, Tim. They've had 3 half chances, quarter chances, whatever you want to call them. Henry's backheeled just wide. He's also shot on target, but relatively weak and easy for McDonald to deal with. And then Frost has had a really good run that ended in a cross-come shot that to be fair, was always going wide. But the shots with a little bit more invention so far. And Eastleigh on the attack now. Really good run from Echegbalum. He's in the box. He looks to clip the ball in. It's half headed away. They'll get a shot in from the edge of the area. It's a diving header from Will Armitage, which clears away. And now Aldershot attacking at the other end. Lovely little passage as you join us, Tim. Barrett's got the ball under control now against Fernandez. He's drifting along the byline. He sends a cross in. It's headed up in the air by Semenyo, and then a foul by Aaron Jones, who was a little bit too keen to get in at the back post. But 24 minutes and 24 seconds gone, Tim, but it's not 2-4, it's 0-0. Lively passage of play, James.
Both teams have an attacking intent. They're both trying to win the game, for sure. Just on the Eastleigh chance, it's too easy. He can't turn there. Scott will be disappointed with that. He went past him far too easily. But Aldershot sprung off well, and to get in the opposition box so quickly within about 10 seconds is impressive. So, as I said, both teams have an attacking intent. It's a really fascinating game with both playing the same formation. But I would say in the first 25 minutes, Aldershot are playing the shape better.
That's James Rowe, the former assistant manager of Aldershot Town, and of course the former Gloucester, Chesterfield and Fylde manager. I've got it in the right order this time. 0-0 here, 25 minutes gone, and a brave header there from Armitage with Echegbalum's foot up near him, and now Luca Woodhouse comes back and very sensibly hooks over his head rather than off balance, trying to head it back to Dewhurst with Echegbalum running on. There's a good winner from Theo Widrington, but then shades onto the loose ball. He's forced backwards across his own halfway line. It's a dull, overcast, cold afternoon. It's about 3 or 4 degrees. There's not a real snap in the air. No imminent threat of any rain. It just looks overcast, and the floodlights are burning brightly already, despite the fact that we are in daylight still. Here's Eastleigh winning the midfield on this occasion. They're offside, or it might even have been a foul on Armitage. Either way, it's a free kick to Aldershot, level with James Rowe and myself, Rob Worrell. Elsewhere in the National League this afternoon, in the South, Slough have doubled their lead against Worthing, and Rochdale are 1-0 up away at Southend, who I think it's fair to say better things were expected of this season, but you could say that about a number of clubs, including Eastleigh here. Here's the shots in possession. Ollie Scott just over halfway. Frost sends it inside to Barrett, who always finds space. And what a beautiful ball out to the right to find Aaron Jones. Gives the ball to Henry. Makes a forward run. Henry, though, will have to turn back and inside to Hargreaves. There's definitely an onus from Aldershot when they're in possession to play with a high tempo today. I've seen that a few times of late. I think that's where they see as being their best opportunity to break Eastleigh down, shifting it quickly at pace. But at the moment, all they're doing is keeping possession, one side to the other. Now Ollie Scott might get the opportunity to drift forward into a pocket of space. He does. He goes away with Frost in possession. Frost then gives it to Scott. Scott gets out of his feet, gets a cross in, bounces awkwardly in front of McDonald. Barham almost gets there. And that's your typical Jack Barham type one, isn't it? I think everybody played their role there, and if Barham had just been a little bit more like Jack, he'd have been making that run to the near post, and he could have got one of his lovely little flick finishes, couldn't he?
Excellent passage though, side to side 3 times.
Yeah.
Half-hearted pressure from Eastleigh, to be honest, and if it was half a second earlier, it was a certain goal.
Here's Hargreaves hooking it forward. Fernandez will get there. Oh, he goes back and he doesn't look, and Jack Barham was almost onto that, but McDonald's onto it, clears forward. Ollie Scott manages to beat Echegbalum in the air. A little bit like another good winner from Ollie Scott. For a little man, he's got a wonderful jump for a centre-back. Here's Frost sending the ball down the left. Fernandez under pressure from Barham, hooks it into touch. And I would give this first half and this first 28 minutes a really good example of how, when you're watching Aldershot of late, they're drawing a lot, but they're on the edge of something all the time, and they look more on the edge of it than Eastleigh. But it's really the only key stats that will count at the end of the game is what goals are scored. Don't get any points for effort or territory or possession.
As an away team, Eastleigh haven't had a shot on target, so you take that, and definitely the best passes of play have been with Aldershot at the moment.
Yeah, they haven't had any kind of an effort. Here's a throw-in snaffled by Eastleigh and played up towards Shade, whose first touch is good, and now he goes off in support of Echegbulum, who's running along against Scott, sends the ball in, and it's finished at the far post by Semenyo, and Eastleigh with their first effort on goal in the game take the lead in the 30th minute. Wonderful from back to front, lovely run from Echegbulum, set away by Shade, and Semenyo doing exactly what you'd want your wing back to do, arriving at the far stick and rifling it home. Eastleigh 1, Aldershot Town 0.
It's come out of nowhere, Rob. I agree with you saying that it's a carbon copy of what happened 5 minutes earlier with Jez turning on Ollie and running Ollie. It's 5 yards wider and he's run from outside in. At that stage perhaps it brought him down before he entered the box. I think maybe potentially looking back on first view, but it's against the run of play. Big ask now for Aldershot to continue what they've been doing with a final product.
Yeah, wretched for the shots, really. We're just talking about how, their draws have been on the edge of wins, and they're the only ones that had any effort in this game so far. But I have to say, listeners, absolutely everything needed and did go right for Eastleigh. Lovely first control by Tyrese Shade. Then he fed Echegbulum, who just got a yard on Ollie Scott. Scott was right behind him, but he couldn't tackle. He tried to shift his position. As he did so, Echegbulum drilled the ball in low.
I need to see.
We got sorry, well. James. I think they come to us on the radio. I beg your pardon. Are you there, Tim? Yeah. Yes, we've had a goal. It's come the very first effort on goal from the home side all afternoon, or 30 minutes in as it was, and it was a lovely move. Shade holding the ball up, feeding to Echegbulum, sending him down the right hand side and just getting away from Ollie Scott, sending in a cross, and the left wing back Semenyo arriving just to slot home at the far post. An exemplary transition goal. Aldershot with a free kick at the other end as you join us, and that is headed clear by Eastleigh. So half an hour gone, Tim, 31 minutes actually gone now. Eastleigh 1, Aldershot Town 0. And they might get another transition here, Eastleigh, and then we'll come to James Rowe for his thoughts. I know you're going to make another point there, James, I beg your pardon. Here is a shot from distance, just wide, and Dewhurst goes down to his right, and when he didn't get anything on it, James, I've got to be honest, I was waiting for the net to bulge. That was inches wide of his right hand post.
And that's the danger that I was speaking about from the 5 minutes on, that the two strikers are splitting out wide, 1v1 on the outside centre halves, and they've got to be aggressive. It's 1v1, then he's been more aggressive against both the strikers. And just going back to the goal, the point I was going to raise is, once the outside centre half is beaten, the middle centre half's got a decision to make. He's got to come across or hold his ground, and on the goal, I think Woodhouse could have come across quicker and stopped the cross.
Yep. There's a ball forward. Scott back there trying to cut it out, and does. Up towards Barrett, but Fernandez nips in front of him, and Widdrington nips in front of Warue.
And just on that one, as I was saying, so if the outside centre halves are beaten, the middle centre half has got decisions to make, and he's not marking anyone on that one. The right side of the centre half was marking Shades on the outside, and the middle one could have come across for the goal, but he's a young lad. He started well with his clearances and bits and pieces. Here's
a good ball from Hargreaves up towards Henry, who's fouled inside the centre circle. Aldershot take the kick quickly. Hargreaves out to Frost on the right hand side. He's running to the edge. He's inside the penalty area. Tries a shot left footed, which just, to be fair, is only 6-8 inches away from the corner of post and bar. But another half chance.
Powder puff that, Rob. Great position. He's got to hit the target.
He's got to get his head over it and drill it low. It was quite close to the goal, and he really flashed it with some power. But you see at times, you see the advantage of a right-footed player playing on the left, and at times already twice today we've probably seen the disadvantage of it.
Yep. I actually thought he was going to hit it with his right there before he shifted onto his left.
Exactly that. But another chance for the shots. Goes begging from Frost, and it'll be a goal kick to Eastleigh. 1-0 up now if you've joined us late. We're in the 34th minute. The only efforts on goal were from Aldershot until that point. And so far, one chance, one goal for Eastleigh. In fact, two chances now, because Shade ran forward and drove his shot just wide. Here's Francilet turning the ball into the path of Fernandez, who lovely little touch just to evade Barrett.
You've got to be aggressive on that one.
Yeah, good. And then the ball back to Echegbalum, who does lose out on it. Frost plays it down the line. Taylor's onto it. He plays it forward. And Luca Woodhouse has been dispossessed by Shade, but Ollie Scott comes to the rescue of his fellow centre-half. He'll have only wished that his fellow centre-half could have come and rescued him a couple of minutes ago. Trying to get back from a forward position. Throw in then now to Eastleigh, who are now on the up. They're sending Mayer, Francilet and Fernandez forward for this throw that Tyrese Shade is going to take.
The goal's given him a little bit of a boost, isn't it?
Often does, doesn't it? Still waiting for Shade to take this throw. No short option, so in it comes. Headed away by Armitage. Taylor turns sharply, and then a good work from Hargreaves again. He's so quick with it. Oh, there's Barham nicking the ball off of Waruai, and now Frost comes forward on the left side. Barrett sends it first time to Henry. Can he get in beyond Semenyo? He's onto it now as the ball ricochets, but he sends it back in, and there's no one in there for shots. Disappointing. Barrett's first to react though, and he's onto it on the far side. Sends a ball in looking for Widrington, but that's cut out by the number 18, Warue. Sends the ball forward looking for Echegbalum, who gets his header in against Woodhouse, and then Woodhouse and Armitage manage to snaffle the ball off with Echegbalum and Shade, and there's a good battle between Scott and Echegbalum. And on this occasion, Aldershot shifted a little bit too quickly out to the right-hand side. I think the assumption was Aaron Jones would be hugging that wing, but he wasn't. He'd come inside 10 or 15 yards.
He's been, since the goal, they've been bumped a couple of times at centre-half, so they've just got to get their composure back. Before the goal, it's definitely Aldershot were in the ascendancy. They've just, as I said, the home side have got their tails up, and the back three are getting bumped a little bit. They've just got to compose themselves and win those 1v1 duels better.
What we know, or certainly I do, about this Aldershot Town side is they don't really, there's not much difference sometimes to their body language as Hargreaves fouls Taylor on the halfway line. They don't get to sort of put out of their stride by conceding goals. They go long into games. They generally finish quite well. What I will say though is, interestingly, Eastleigh have taken the lead on 18 occasions this season, and those leads have been squandered on 9 of them. They've got a 50% rate of holding on for the win in these situations. They take this free kick out to the right hand side. Aldershot win it, and there's contact there on Theo Widrington, who goes down, comes up holding his head alongside the referee there, doing their best impression of the Mitchell brothers, and we're back underway. Luca Woodhouse again spreading the ball quickly up towards Ollie Scott. Scott to Frost, checks back onto his right foot. He'll go through Woodhouse again, and Woodhouse spreads it across to Armitage, and now get it back from them. 38 minutes almost elapsed. Widrington with the ball through the middle. Barrett chases it. McDonald comes to the edge of his box and wins it. And
Henry's got a problem. Henry's
got a problem. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Good spot, James. Here comes Echegbalum on the right. And yeah, he had a little niggle or two, Henry. But he's feeling his calf, and he's...
That'll be a blow, because he's been Aldershot's best player.
Yeah, he has. He's had a couple of half chances. Aldershot preparing to make a substitution. Will they go relatively early on for the West Ham loanee that they signed in the week? Brad Dollahan. There's been one of the criticisms you sometimes get from the Aldershot Town supporters is they have players in on loan from Premier League clubs, like they had Johnny Stuttle from Bournemouth for a couple of months, but he only got one start and he was not used enough. Obviously there's a lot of players vying for those positions. The Shots have also got Kai Corbett, who has had a little bit of a rekindling of form of late, and he may be a little bit more match ready, I don't know. So while Henry receives treatment, both sides come to the side for instruction. I wouldn't expect you to have a strong opinion on that, but I would imagine that Kai Corbett or Brad Dollahan would be favourites, and the outsider might be Max Mullins to come on. But as you say, a blow for the Shots. Henry's their top scorer for the season, and the fact is, at any age really, but particularly beyond 30, when you feel a little tweak in your calf, it's the end of your day, isn't it? You know,
it doesn't look promising, does it? I mean, why he's been the best player is that he's physically on 1v1 duels dominated close. He's broke off him on the outside shoulder and received it really well on his back foot and got the wing backs into play. He's made the box and he's had an effort on goal that it could have done better with the flick. So his all-round game's been excellent.
He's going to be replaced by Kai Corbett. I'm not too surprised by that. Corbett, Aldershot paid a small fee, about 5,000 for.
Really?
To Barry Fry in the summer, and then when the rest of that sentence, now you know why, the Barry Fry bits of that. But no, he was a highly regarded youngster who can list Barcelona as one of his former clubs as a youngster.
I think he might have been a 10, 11-year-old at West Ham when I was there.
He might well have been. I'll have to check that out, or maybe one of our avid listeners might look into that while we're busy. Torquay also 2-0 up in the National League South. By the way, Rochdale still 1-0 up away at Southend. Dagenham 1-0 up away at Fylde. Braintree are now 2-0 up against Forest Green, who got their work cut out this afternoon. Here's Tyler Frost on the left side for the Shots. Can they get level before half time? Frost sends the ball to Ollie Scott, trying to make room perhaps for a cross here. They send it inside to Corbett, who skips inside and away from his man and gets the benefit of a free kick decision from referee Stuart Moreland.
Nice positive first action.
Yes, that's the kind of move and goal that Corbett can do. A quick shift inside and then a right-footed curled finish. He's done that on a couple of occasions pre-season, and once in the last couple of months or so. He came on towards the end of an FA Trophy game and scored a couple of goals, got an assist as well. In fact, he might have even got a hat-trick that day, I'm just trying to remember now. But here's a free kick to the Shots, 41.5 minutes in. They trail by a goal to nil. Josh Barrett, I think, is going to take this. Will he actually have a go from here? Let's see. He does, and it's parried wide by McDonald, and he manages to keep it in play. Eastleigh send it forward, and it'll go all the way back through Hargreaves to Marcus Dewhurst. Another effort just wide, I think, of the target probably, but McDonald didn't know that. Good pressing from Barham, almost wins the ball, but Semenyo and drifts past one, then another sends it out to the left side, and there is an offside decision. But you know what, James? However, free kick to the Shots defensively. However Eastleigh are playing, what they have got on the counter, on the transition, is a bit of power and a bit of pace with Semenyo, with Chegbullum and Shade, and it only needs to come off a couple of times in the whole 90 minutes and they'll be keeping the 3 points.
Yeah, I think they'll be disappointed with that, how he skipped through the centre of the pitch there. That can't happen.
Here's Woodhouse feeding the ball to Hargreaves. He's fouled from behind as the game's wearing on. The referee's giving more of these free kicks. It's a good battle, but I have to say, listeners, between Taylor and Hargreaves, who's been right on his game as always. Look at Woodhouse with an early ball, left-footed out to the right. Can Aaron Jones get there? Yes, he can. What great vision, what great technique on the pass, but well done to the Eastleigh side for winning the ball back. They've put it in touch and it's a throw in. I think Semenyo all the way back there again. Aldershot take the throw and come back down the right side and then centrally again through Woodhouse, who feeds it into Ollie Scott. Scott to Frost. Frost skips past Chegbullum and then carries on. He's running away from Brindley. Tries a shot and it's on target. Decent. Getting better. He's had a few sighters, Tyler Frost. I'm sure he'd swap his 3 relatively tame final efforts for one that had sizzled in the top corner, eh?
Yeah, but it's the right idea. I think Josh from the free kick as well, considering what happened, although Joe's done very well with his handling so far. Last week, obviously, the mistake he made, he needs to be tested all the time.
Here's Taylor winning a header up towards Chegbrum, turns it round the corner to Brindley. He helps it on to Shade. Shade.
See, on that one, he can be more aggressive. He needs to be aggressive on him now. He's come off there.
Yeah.
Letting him turn and face him up.
Yeah.
So that's the problem now. See?
He's gone past him. Shade has gone past Woodhouse. He's to the byline. He's looking to pull it back. And Woodhouse comes back again and gets the block in. Really good call there. While live in play from you, James. Something you'd spotted. That's what he wants to do. He wants to bring him wide and expose him and then get round him. And Eastleigh win their second corner of the afternoon, so 2 each.
If you're going to let him face you up, then you're going to have to deal with that, and that's a bigger problem than him with his back to goal. He's got to get tighter, he's got to be more aggressive. His passing range has been good, his duels have generally been good, but when he comes wide like that and you're the central one coming out of him, you can't let him turn.
It's James Rowe, I'm Rob Worrell. You listen to BBC Radio Surrey. South Hampshire against North East Hampshire today. Eastleigh against Aldershot, 14th against 19th. And it's 1-0 to Eastleigh. And we've just had the 45 minutes. We're going to have 3 added. 1-0 Eastleigh into 3 minutes of added time. Corner taken short by Taylor to Shade. He's on the edge of the area up against Widrington. Skips in. And the shot is drilled in from Shade. Skipped inside Widrington, he lunged in, couldn't get anything on it, and Eastleigh, without ever really playing that well in this first half, are going to go in, it looks like, 2-0 up at half time. James Rowe, 2-0 Eastleigh.
We just said it, didn't we? If he faces you up, you've got a problem. He can shift and go both ways. It's far too easy. Be very disappointed. I'm sure Tommy will be at half time, and with that, can't be conceding that goal just for half time.
Tyree Shade, who started the move for the first goal, and he's finished this one. And twice in a matter of minutes, the talents of Shade and the Chegbulham facing up Aldershot Town defenders, getting past them. Luca Woodhouse, to his credit, bounced back and cleared the previous one for the corner, but this time Shade skipped inside Theo Widrington, who lunged across to try and stop it, but then finished low down to Dewhurst left, found the corner with a shot. Would have been a very difficult one for Dewhurst to save. Can the shots respond again quickly and before half time, because we're well into the second minute of 3 added on. Here's Aaron Jones picking the ball up, sending it inside to Corbett. Corbett finds Hargreaves. Hargreaves goes back to Armitage. And Armitage back through Woodhouse to Scott. Desperately disappointing scoreline for the Shots, who are unbeaten in 10 matches in all competitions. But 2-0 down here as Frost is fouled on the left touchline by Brindley. And really there's a matter of seconds left. Aldershot might as well get Woodhouse and Armitage up there and send the ball right in and make sure that they create at least a half a chance here in those final seconds. You don't always get what you deserve in football, and I have to say you can't fault the 2 Eastleigh finishes. You might be able to fault the defending, but here's the free kick from Barrett into the far side. Woodhouse comes in, times his run well, gets his head on it and turns it. I mean, he's not even as close as the far stick, and he's flicked his head up, beyond the near post. So
just goal decision making on that one. He's got to head it back across goal, haven't you?
Yeah, he timed his run well and got away from his man. He's got to either head it down towards goal or back across goal, and he's gone for a flicked header as if he'd come to the near post. So we're just about time up in the first half, and there is the whistle. A very disappointing scoreline for the Shots, who probably were shading the first half an hour, but it was at that point that they went behind to Semenyo's goal. Lovely transition goal from Eastleigh, and then Shade just beating Widington 1-1 on the floor and firing a low shot past Dewhurst. So half time, James, just sum that one up for us. 2-0 Eastleigh.
Stripping it back, both teams playing the same shape. certainly the first half an hour Aldershot had the better passages. They used their outside centre halves better in possession and stepped into play really well. Most attacking threats come from Aldershot's left, and Frosters look lively. And the goal, the first goal was the first momentum shifter for me. I think that Eastleigh grew into the game after that first goal. And the first goal could have been prevented. I think it was too easy. He ran 25 yards before delivering it with the ball, which is disappointing. I think the middle centre half Woodhouse can come across once Scott was beaten there. And it was a good delivery and a good finish. Great one-touch finish on the far stick. The second goal, well, the other momentum shifter was obviously James Henry going down injured. That's a big blow for Aldershot, because he had been the best player, looked like the most liveliest really. And the third one, just before the goal, I was saying the strikers on the outside centre half are getting turned too easily, especially if the central centre half comes out. He can't let him turn. He's got to go all the way with him and be more aggressive. We had the warning shot just for the corner, and obviously the second goal's come from Shade coming, getting it short, drifting across from right to left on his left foot and going past Theo and striking it from 18 yards. Again, an organisation, structural side of it, foundation side of it, to give away the corner in such a manner and to concede from that corner in that way, for him to drift in from right to left to get a shot near the centre of the 18-yard box from 18 yards is disappointing, and I don't think Dewhurst on site could do anything about it. Two good goals from Eastleigh's point of view, two avoidable goals from Aldershot, I believe.
Thank you very much, James Rowe. A quick look at the other half times, then I'll do a half-time report, and then James and I will take a break for 10 minutes or so, see if we can get ourselves some refreshment. Fylde 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 1. That goal coming just before half-time. Barnet 1, Solihull Moors 0. Braintree 2, Forest Green 0. Lisby with one of those goals. Ebbsfleet 0, York 0, Halifax 0, Boston 0, Gateshead 0, Altrincham 1. The goal coming in the 14th minute for Altrincham. Hartlepool 0, Maidenhead 0, Oldham 0, Sutton 0, Southend 0, Rochdale 1, Devanti Rodney with the goal. Woking 0, Tamworth 0, and Yeovil have equalised just before half-time against Wealdstone. Slightly better news that one elsewhere for the shots. So 1-1 there. I'll do our half-time reports very shortly. All ready to go. No, that's I heard you say 1 minute about 2 minutes ago, so all good. Oh, okay. No worries, no worries. Gotcha. It's just a Crawley Town match report, and then it's us. And there's a little room just over there where we can go and get a coffee. Yes, Semenyo scored on the south coast again, but it's not the Bournemouth one, it's his brother who gave Eastleigh the lead on the half an hour mark. They doubled it 2 minutes before half time. Tyree Shade drilling a shot low down to Marcus Dewhurst's left. Aside from those two efforts, it's been pretty much all Aldershot with the half chances, if you like. Tyler Frost had 2 or 3 of them. James Henry had a couple, but he's now limped off with a little calf injury, so things not going well here at the Silver Lake for Aldershot Town at half time. They've got it all to do, Tim. Eastleigh 2, Aldershot Town 0. All right, listeners, James and I are going to take a short break. We'll be back in about 8-10 minutes.
welcome back out to the pitch for the second half, Aldershot Town and Eastleigh.
Welcome back to the Silver Lake for the second half of today's National League match between Eastleigh and Aldershot Town. 2-0 to Eastleigh at half time. And a half time substitution for Eastleigh. Noah Boutin has come on. Noah Boutin. And who's he come on for, Cliff? Richard Brinley. Okay. Noah Boutin on the number 21 for Richard Brinley. Give you the Aldershot Town line-up in a moment, but Eastleigh are quickly underway in all blue, kicking from right to left. The shots now attacking towards their own fans. Can that just inspire them a little bit to dig deep and find something else? Kai Corbett has very definitely dropped into the number 10 position behind the two forwards in Barham and Barrett. Full line up to follow. There's a ball into the feet of Barrett. Holds off his man initially and then sends it out to the right. Appeals for and gets from Stuart Morland a free kick just inside his own half. And the Aldershot Town starting lineup has changed for the second half, thanks to that late injury to James Henry. So it's Dewhurst in goal, Scott, Woodhouse and Armitage, Frost, Hargreaves, Widrington and Jones across the middle, and then Kai Corbett playing in the hole between the midfield and between Barrett and Barham. Here's a ball out to the left side, headed inside by Frost, hooked forward and clear by Eastleigh. Taylor's got it, clips the ball over the top. Woodhouse comes off his man and wins it, but Taylor's quickly onto it again. He's just being buffeted by Tyler Frost, and he goes all the way back to McDonnell. I'll just give you the Eastleigh team and then we'll welcome our summariser back, Joe McDonnell. As we look at the Eastleigh team, we'll do that with James in just a second. The shot's on the attack. Corbett holding the ball up and fouled. James, you had a point, I think, to make. Yeah, you're on there. Oh, you can't hear me, sorry. Oh, turn that down, that's it, gotcha. Here's Corbett on the right-hand side into Jones. Jones skips inside, feeds the ball to Widrington. He goes backwards to Woodhouse inside the centre circle and he sends it quickly out to the left-hand side. Frost sends it on to Hargreaves. Battling away with it. Fernandez does well though. Hargreaves comes back. The ball disappears behind the goal. Away to our right. Hargreaves fetches it. It'll be a goal kick to Eastleigh. Another change as well for Eastleigh then. Noah Boutin coming on the number 21 for Brinley. Let's just see where he's settled in. I think it's...
So they switched the wing backs around.
They have, yeah.
So Boutin's come on the left, but I don't know if that was a tactical one, because we were saying offline that obviously Brindley was letting Frost run a little bit, wasn't he? So there might be a tactical one, it could be an injury.
Yeah. Woodhouse wins the header from the goal kick. Francelet wins the next one. It's flicked on up towards Chegwell.
Got to be aggressive on that one. It goes into the front. It's got to be more aggressive. There.
That's James Rowe alongside me, Rob Worrell, this afternoon here at the Silver Lake, where James has never lost as a manager. I grilled him on that at half times. 3 games in there, 3 wins, and he hasn't conceded a goal. It's the sort of record that Aldershot Town can only envy. It's not been a happy hunting ground particularly. They did win one here, 3-0 under Molesley. Here's Barrett onto a ball forward, holds it up, turns his man Fernandez, gives it to Frost, and then he's blatantly body checked from being able to go back for the return by Semenyo, who's now working on that right wing, and Semenyo gets himself a yellow card. So they're little moments, but it's a little shift that works for Aldershot on that side for this second half.
Yeah, good ball in behind, good run from Josh. Well held up as well because he's under pressure, and a dangerous free kick in the early passages. Certainly Tommy would have been saying going into the red and blue army that get some momentum, get some forward play, forward passes, get some penalty area entries as quick as possible, and try and shift that momentum that was leading into half time. 15 minutes break would have done or come at a good time for Aldershot.
Okay, Josh Barrett then with the free kick out on the left hand side. It's 5 or 6 yards kind of closer to the goal. In it comes. Ooh, side netting from Josh Barrett. McDonnell went away to his right. He wasn't needed in the end, but it's another nearly moment for Aldershot and for Josh Barrett, James.
Yeah, over the wall and down, side netting. Whether the goalie had it covered or not, I'm not sure, but it was the right idea from Josh again.
Eastleigh with very few wins, as we said, in the last 10-11 games.
The next goal is so important, considering that, as we were saying again at half time, that next goal is always important in a 2-0 result during the passage of play, but particularly today. Yeah,
and Aldershot potentially could get themselves some real momentum if they can score in front of their fans. Attacking that end is a sliced ball from Scott, but Aaron Jones is onto it and does really well, and plays it in the end off the sub boot in. And it cannons off him and goes behind the goal away to our left. It will be a goal kick to the Shots. 5.5 minutes already gone in this second half. Certainly time is not going to be Aldershot's friend in this second half, but as James Rose says, and that's a poor touch there from Will Armitage, and he gives away an unnecessary throw halfway inside his own half. Not exactly what the Shots are looking for now. They want a bit of momentum, ideally a goal back as soon as possible, and just to get some real noise out of whatever it is, 500, 600, 700 Shots fans over on the far side, and they've been largely stifled really by the scoreline, I think, this afternoon. There's a good win by Corbett initially, but then he catches Bootin with his second touch, and it's now a free kick to Eastleigh, just 10 yards or so inside the Aldershot town half. Meant to say to you just before half time, but hang on, there's Shade feeding it into a Chegbolam.
It's frustrating because he's got faced up again. He can't keep getting faced up. Got to keep him with his back to goal. Can't keep letting him have it on the half turn there on the edge of the box. Just been punished for that. Yeah,
Widrington in the end turned it behind for the corner. The only moments really of concern for Aldershot are when the likes of Chegbolam and Shade and Semenyo are getting right up against them one-on-one at the back. Gary Michael D said just before half time, it's the hope that kills you. Eastleigh a total bogey side. Here comes the corner from Jake Taylor. Ooh, headed back across goal as Dewhurst couldn't get there, and in the end with a potential injury to Dewhurst, the referee doesn't stop the play, but that was a bit worrying for me. They pinned him, James, he couldn't get up and get across for it, and an Eastleigh head got up at the far post, and the intention was to head it back across goal, but he couldn't have been far away from just heading it in.
If I'm casting my eye on both the teams, I think that's where the game's being won and lost at the moment. Physically, certainly some athletic lads for Eastleigh in particular, with weapons, pace as a weapon, but also when they're loading the box like that, they're three big centre halves. Some mismatches going on in the 18-yard box.
Yeah, Mayer wins ahead but can only send it into the path of Barrett, and then Taylor hooks it into touch in front of us. Dean Madgwick says, hi Rob, sitting on a balcony in Laos. Is it Laos? Laos? 30 degrees, listening, need to step it up second half. Yeah, the Shots need to fire things up a bit. There's good play from Corbett, but he thinks he's been fouled and goes down. Referee ignores that one, and the Chegbolam bombs past.
That's better though, that's better. It was more aggressive when the duel came.
Yeah, better from Woodhouse. when dragged out of the area. Didn't want to be exposed 1 against 1. Thumped it into touch, throw into Eastleigh, who will be desperate to get the 3 points themselves this afternoon. They've lost their last 4 games in all competitions, 3 in the league, 1 in the FA Trophy. And Aldershot Town haven't tasted defeat in any competition, James, this year, but they're going to need some second half performance, aren't they? Or certainly to be very clinical if they're going to avoid defeat this afternoon. Throw in again to Eastleigh. Comes in deep, headed away by Frost up towards Corbett. He hooks it on. Hargreaves is battling with it, as is Barrett. Shifts it into the path of Hargreaves. Hargreaves sends it forward, but will win that in front of Barrett. Good header from Corbett. Plays the ball up to Widrington, who does well. And then Barham battles for the ball on the edge of the area. Eventually it breaks free and Mayer will clear it forward. Shade knocks it into the path of Waruai, but his ball forward is a little bit aimless, and Woodhouse sends it to Ollie Scott. Quickly checked by Uchegbulum, and Aldershot have the ball. What Eastleigh have done, whether they intended to or not, in this first 10 minutes, they've just had a lot of the ball and a lot of the territory, and they've not allowed Aldershot to get any kind of momentum yet, James. And basically all that does is take them 10 minutes nearer 3 points. Here's Widrington breaking forward, a bit of space, lifts the ball out to the left. Corbett with the run, and he goes to ground and just catches one of the Eastleigh players. He's given offside anyway.
But just a point that the foundation of Aldershot's play in the shape's good in possession, but when they get it back to the central point, so it might be the central centre half, or it might be Theo centrally as the 6. The wing backs are stood against the wing backs. They need to move. They can get the ball behind as well, so it's got to be both movements. They keep coming towards the ball all the time to get it on the back foot. That's good, but they need a bit of variation. They need to out it in runs or whatever it is, so Theo and Luca can play the ball over the top as well. It doesn't always have to be the strikers getting it in behind.
The assistant referee on this near side has now had his flag up for about a minute and a half. He eventually puts it down.
That's because he hasn't had it, he needed to put it up that long. It's just showing everyone he's the linesman.
He's in charge, or he's second in charge.
Don't get me started, yeah. I'll get booked.
Here is McDonnell with the eventual free kick, and a good combative battle there with Ollie Scott involved, but Semenyo comes away with the ball, sends it inside to Waruai, out to Taylor. Taylor lifts the ball over the top. Shade is there, so's Uchegbulum, and Aldershot poke it into touch. I think it's Tyler Frost over there. 56 minutes gone, and Eastleigh are keeping the Shots fans relatively quiet. They need a moment, they need something to spark them and for them to spark the team. Otherwise, a promising start to 2025 is going to come a little bit off the rails halfway through February. Here's Uchegbulum receiving the ball back to goal inside the penalty area, sends it back out wide. Semenyo sends it in, little header down across the goal. Eastleigh have got the ball, but 6 yards out, back to goal. Follow up run now from the number 22, squares it across. It's cut out behind. In fact, it's sent behind by Mayer, and it's a goal kick to the Shots, and the referee decides
done us a favour, I think, though.
Was moving, I think, but Dewhurst trying to take it quickly, and Eastleigh, to be honest, if they can keep a clean sheet, even if they just concede one, they're going to keep all 3 points this afternoon. Is Barrett doing well to hold the ball up and hold a couple of men off? Skips inside, sends it across, but gives it away to Shade. Woodhouse wins it and rescues it forward. Barham jumps into the back of Woodhouse. No foul given, but Woodhouse wins it anyway. Did you come to us, Tim? I beg your pardon. Eastleigh have possession. 57.5 minutes gone. 2-0 to the Spitfires. Here's Will Armitage doing well, winning the throw-in for the Shots, but Eastleigh have stifled the Shots somewhat at the start of this second half. And Aldershot haven't really been able to get any momentum. Just a Josh Barrett free kick that ended up in the side netting. So 58 minutes gone now. Still 2-0 Eastleigh. Here's Ollie Scott sending the ball out to the left-hand side to Tyler Frost. It's block tackled by Semenyo, who's had a really good game actually. Took his goal well when it came. James Rowe alongside me will pick his Aldershot Town man of the match in around about 35 minutes time, and we'll update our radio listeners shortly. At the moment the ball is with Ben Close, exchanges passes with Fernandez. Francilet is well forward, feeds the ball to Taylor, who clips it out to the right hand side, inch perfect pass finding Uchegbulam. He finds Semenyo, who juggles the ball a couple of times, then skips down the right. And again, those players, Semenyo and Shade and Uchegbulam, all combine. And again, Taylor down the right hand side. Frost's got a foot in. Aldershot have won it. It's been turned back towards Dewhurst, who clears his lines forward, looking for Barrett. Headed forward, flicked on by Semenyo. Hargreaves heads it inside. Barham should be favourite to get on this one, and sends it out to Aaron Jones. They're on the attack at the moment. It's still 2-0. Eastleigh have cut that one out, and they've largely stifled the shots at the start of this second half, Tim. Just a Josh Barrett free kick that found the side netting. Another nearly moment on a day of nearly moments for the shots. Their passage isn't going to get any easier, because the former National League top scorer Scott Quigley's now going to come on, and Kelvin Davies' decision to start him as bench looks somewhat vindicated right now, as two of his other three most attacking players have scored this afternoon. That of course was Semenyo and Tyrese Shade in the first half. So we're an hour gone now, and it's a frustrating afternoon for the 600 or 700 shots faithful over on the far side, Tim. They've had very little to share. It could all change with just a goal for the side playing in all black, but at the moment it remains 2-0 to the Spitfires. Here's the ball in touch for an Aldershot Town throw, level with the edge of the penalty area, over on the far side in front of the Shots fans. I've never heard that many Shots fans in that kind of number kept so quiet throughout an afternoon as they have been today. And it's largely by what's happening on the pitch. Here's Armitage sending the ball to Jones. Jones inside to Hargreaves. He's forced back to Armitage. And Eastleigh know, don't they? They've got the cushion, James, of that extra, that second goal. And they know that if they just work hard and get back in a good shape out of possession, make it hard for Aldershot to break them down, then really that's all they need for the rest of this game, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the rigid way Aldershot are setting up, it's they've got a spare man at the back at all times, and really the front two, Barrett and Barham, aren't really moving, coming off the front to make an extra 1-4v3 in the middle, and vice versa. Kai Corbett has yet to run off Ben Close, so I think for sure James Henry getting injured has impacted that front three and the fluidity of them, and also their play at the moment of the general team. So I said that at half time, I think it was a momentum shift, and I think it's proven so at the moment.
Yeah, so Kelvin Davies not hanging about. He's made a substitute at half time. He's just brought Quigley on, and now Ben Close is coming off as well, and he's going to be replaced. I'd imagine that would be relatively like for like, Lee Hodson coming on.
Yeah, I think that might do with fitness, that one. I think Ben's just getting some minutes back in his legs. Obviously he hasn't played recently and he's come on loan, so I think that one's just to protect him. And
just in case I didn't say it, when Quigley came on, that was for Jez Uchegbulam, who assisted the first goal for Eastleigh today. There's a good cut out by Bootin, and he chases after his own touch. Hargreaves has switched on the afterburners, and he's appeared from nowhere, as he often does, to win the ball. Tireless work in the centre of midfield. There's a nice touch inside for Corbett, who finds Barham. Barham sends the ball in for Frost, who can't get onto it, but Barrett can, and then I'm not quite sure what Barrett was trying, whether it was a clipped effort or whether it was a cross from the left. It just went high, it went behind, and it's the Eastleigh Turns fans to jeer him as that one goes wrong. First time in the second half that Aldershot have sprung forward so quickly, James. Yeah,
a nice little touch from Kai Corbett, and a good pick out to left wing back. Frost, what a great tackle though. I love that. What a great tackle.
Yeah, and not looking good for Aldershot in one of the other games. Yeovil 1, Wealdstone 2. Josh Grant putting Wealdstone ahead. Farnborough now 3-0 up against Weymouth, who are in big trouble at the wrong end of the division. And Boreham Wood must have had some rollicking at half-time. They're at home to Eastbourne. It was 0-0 at half-time. It's now 3-0. And Eastleigh are in again, out of almost nothing. Tyrese Shade it was, and he dragged his shot wide, James.
It's a 60-yard punt from the goalie, and he's got in one-on-one on the bounce, and he'd be disappointed with that. If he touched that's a goal. He's gone for his laces, which is probably the wrong club selection, and it's drifted to the right post. But too easy again. They're getting in behind the three centre-halves too easy, and that's been a pattern of play throughout the 90 minutes or 60 minutes so far.
Here's Barham hammering the ball against Froncilet. He just keeps it in and avoids the corner, and then shows good composure to give it back to Bootin. Barham keeps snapping away at Bootin's heels. Eventually he gets a touch on it, but it's gone away. It's behind the goal away to our right. It will be a goal kick to Eastleigh. And Aldershot Town are going to make another substitution now. We are going to see a debut for the West Ham loanee Brad Dollahan, and that's the end of Josh Barrett's afternoon. But we're going to get a look at the West Ham youngster who was really starting to fire regularly for Worthing, one division below, got himself a move to West Ham, comes on for his shots debut. He is wearing the number 19 shirt for Aldershot Town. Can he make an instant impact? We are seconds away from there being 25 minutes left plus whatever's added. Are Aldershot Town going to get back into this? So they're going to have a moment in front of their supporters. Woodhouse holds off Quigley. Quigley arms out wide, doesn't like it. Touchdown from Barham, almost into the path of Dollahan, but it eludes him. Ball forward. Woodhouse wins the header. He's just clipped by Shade. And then a loose ball is pounced on by Froncilet. Feeds Bootin. Bootin out to the left side. And Eastleigh win a free kick as Armitage puts his head in bravely, and some other part of his body catches the Eastleigh player, and he's been shown yellow for it. I can't believe that one, James.
It's a free kick for Aldershot.
I think it's a free kick for Aldershot.
So he's given it the wrong way. He's given it the wrong way. He's also booked him. So, I mean, incredible decision. Unbelievable
stuff. It really is. But I mean, we'd be clutching at straws to be blaming the referee. But Waruai goes down.
Incredible.
He's absolutely fine, but he stayed down long enough just to give a bit of concern to the referee. Tyrese Shade's gone down now. And I think Niall Maher's saying that Tyrese Shade's got to go off here. And Eastleigh's forward line is jinxed right now. McCallum injured, Raquel Pike signed and injured. Tyrese Shade being picked up now, and he's coming off. And Chris Maguire's coming on, so no shortage of quality players on the bench for Eastleigh. They can reach for players of the quality of Quigley and Maguire. Two players that would be in end of season league teams. To be honest, I don't believe Shade's injured at all. I think that's the classic just waste a minute, isn't
I think that each of the back three of Aldershot will be breathing a sigh of relief for them coming off, because he's terrorised them, if we're being honest.
Yeah, Maguire will come on with all his experience. He'll probably sit just a little bit deeper. Quigley just strong arming Ollie Scott there. It's an absolute mismatch physically.
Yeah, if you're looking at it now, just there's 3 or 4 mismatches. It's a physical mismatch, and that's probably why Eastleigh are 2-0 up. Yeah,
Quigley is being marked behind him by Woodhouse, but he's trying to get off. And the ball comes in, and the Eastleigh player gets a touch on it. No, that's given as a corner as well. Quigley was very quick to get his hand up. It looked a really guilty one to me. I'll appeal for that anyway, and he got it. I mean, it's amazing how the referee just doesn't even know he's being hoodwinked. 2 or 3 things he thinks he's given the right decision. He's got it completely the wrong way around. Corner to Eastleigh. Will they take this one short? No, Chris Maguire's going to send it in. We're in the 68th minute. They already lead 2-0, and the shots just can't find a way back into this one. The ball's headed half clear, hooked on by Corbett. Dollahan shows for it, but he won't get it. Sent back in by Waruai. Dewhurst gives Aaron Jones a call, and he leaves it for him. Dewhurst now with the kick. Dollahan will try and get on it, so will Barham. Barham positions himself well, up on the edge of the penalty area. Can he get his cross in? He can, but it's straight to Fernandez. Frost or Hargreaves needed to attack that there. Good work from Scott to win the ball back for shots. Theo Widrington wins a free kick. He's brought down by Maguire. It's shifted quickly sideways to Hargreaves. He sends it out to the left side to Frost. Frost into Dollahan. Dollahan gives it back to him. Now the cross. In it comes. Francillette wins the mismatch against Barham. Maguire heads it on. Hargreaves has picked up the loose ball. Aldershot not in it in terms of the scoreline, not in it in terms of creating chances, but if they can do what Eastleigh did and be clinical when they do get them, there's still possibilities for them today. Here's Corbett winning the ball on the left side. Now he's dragging it across, back onto his left foot. Little short ball to Frost, and he's just wrong-footed, and the ball trickles out of play. It was bright from Corbett, it was the right idea, but him and Frost weren't on the same wavelength. It's more frustration for the Shots and the Shots fans over on the far side. Goal kick to Eastleigh, 2-0, and we're in the 70th minute. Here's James Rowe.
Yeah, better passage, a final third entry, and the ball was kept in there. Just looking at the deliveries we're going to have to get around the back of them, because any deliveries of the three monster centre halves are going to eat them up. So it's going to have to be around the back, and it's going to have to be something clever and more on the floor if we're going to get an effort on goal from a delivery.
Woodhouse beats Quigley in the air. Dollahan gets first to a loose ball. It's headed forward by Ollie Scott. Towering jump from Fernandez over the top of Corbett. Aldershot win that ball, but they only send it into the path of Waruai. He's taken a strong run out to the left, and he feeds Bootin. Bootin sends it across. Half cleared. Maguire's almost there. Back to goal. Finds Taylor. Taylor with a shot on target. Good save from Dewhurst in the 71st minute. Taylor thwarted by Dewhurst. Otherwise, James, it would be all over.
Yeah, again, it came from a break in a line in the middle from Waru. A drive and a great little slip pass to the left wing back Booton, who delivered, and they had an overload on the outside, and a comfortable save, I would say, from Dewhurst. But again, it's the physical mismatch that they've driven with the ball past the midfield line of Aldershot.
Halifax have taken the lead against Boston, Jamie Cook. York have taken the lead against Ebbsfleet, Ollie Pearce, back from suspension. Sharing the limelight now with Josh Stones. And Fylde have equalised against Dagenham. When I last looked, Wealdstone were winning. So those two sides are breathing down the back of Aldershot Town's necks right now at the bottom end of the National League. Eastleigh 2-0 up. They have a corner. Maguire sends it, headed away by Ollie Scott. Dollahan gets a little flicked header, but then loses out the second time. Widrington wins a header. Ricochet cleared up in the air by Hargreaves, headed back by Eastleigh. Quigley's onto it, sends it into the path of Maguire. Maguire shrugs off Woodhouse, looks for support, sends it inside to Hodson. Hodson evades Widrington, sends it out to Quigley on his right foot in the area. Armitage clears it behind. Corner to Eastleigh, and really and truly, I've got to call it as it is. If anything, it looks like Eastleigh might be the next team to score, and if they do, it's game over for the Shots.
Yeah, struggling to see where a chance is going to be created or a goal scored for Aldershot at the moment, but still 19 minutes left, and Armitage done well there in a 1v1 situation inside the 18-yard box there with a goal gaping for Quigley. He stood up well, and it was a good tackle. That's it.
That's James Rowe. I'm Rob Worley, listening to BBC Surrey. Not a good afternoon so far for the Shots. 2-0 down at Eastleigh. They've lost James Henry to an injury. In comes the corner, headed away at the near post by Ollie Scott. Barham should be first onto it. He goes back to Ollie Scott. Scott lifts it first time into the right channel, and it's hoofed into touch by Angel Waruia. Has got Angel on the back of his shirt. James?
Yeah, good decision from him. 21-year-old. He's done bits today. Yeah, he's got potential for sure. Just then, as I said, we called the last passage where he drove through the midfield, and that one there was getting behind and covering well, and it was the right decision to play out of play there in a dangerous position if it had let it bounce. Yeah,
and he looks like he can run all day as well. There's a heavy touch from Woodhouse, and he's charged down by Chris Maguire. But the assistant referee on the far side insists that it was a handball by Maguire as he did so. So free kick to the Shots. We've got to throw a little bit of caution to the wind. Of course, there's the risk of leading that third goal. But you mentioned they've got the man over at the back at some point. They've got to probably throw somebody else forward somewhere. Let's just see. There's a ball through the middle, nicely taken down by Barham, but then he turns into trouble, and Mayer and Froncelet clear it away up to Hodson. Hodson thinks he's fouled by Cameron Hargreaves, and referee Stuart Morland agrees. The only time he's refereed Aldershot Town this season, that was away at Gateshead. They got a 2-2 draw, but here they're trailing. James, another point from you there, was there? Building or not? Sorry, I thought you wanted.
No. I was just. I was agreeing with you. I think Aldershot need to do something different.
Yeah,
it hasn't worked from the break, and then again, I don't think there's been a shot on target this half, is there? So needs a bit more than that if you want to get back into a game like this away at Eastleigh. They're looking comfortable at the moment.
They certainly are. Always call it as it is. There's a shove in the back of Will Armitage, and referee Morland gives Aldershot Town the free kick on this occasion. Going to update our radio listeners now. It remains Eastleigh 2, Aldershot Town 0, and not much different from the last update, Tim. Largely Eastleigh on top. They're actually playing better in the second half at 2-0 than they were in the first half an hour at 0-0. So still those goals from Semenyo and Shade. They made 4 substitutions as well, one at half time, one in the first half, and 2 subsequent ones as well. Quigley's on, Maguire, 2 of the better players in the National League in recent seasons. Aldershot just sloppy in possession at the moment as well, and it does look at the moment, Tim, as though just hard work from Eastleigh may be enough to see this one out. Eastleigh 2 shots 0. Theo Widdington now off, and Ryan Jones coming on, so let's look for a tweak maybe here in the shots formation.
Hargreaves has gone as the deepest one.
He's gone as the deeper one, as you say. Yeah, might be almost a box 2 now. 2 forward midfielders and 2 strikers. There's Luca Woodhouse battling away against Maguire, and Maguire just holds him off long enough to allow Woodhouse to have one too many nibbles, and it's another free kick to Eastleigh.
I think the tactical tweak is just that Hargreaves has come to the right of the base, and Jones, as it came on, has gone to the left of the base. So still the same shape, but Hargreaves has moved from the left of the base to the right of the base.
York have doubled their lead away at Ebbsfleet. Barnet are now 2-1 up against Solihull Moors, and I think Woking has just given Effiong's just given Woking the lead from the penalty spot. Here's Maguire with the free kick, flick on, parried, clear.
Save.
Good save from Dewhurst, made 2 good saves at 2-0. Here's Aldershot winning the battle in midfield, send it forward. Barham jumps way too early. Ryan Jones heads the ball forward. Corbett touches it into the path of Barham. That's better from the shots. Barham now inside, looks to find Ryan Jones. Shot from him is dragged, half cleared, and then a huge boot through it from Froncelet.
There's nothing fashionable about him, but he does a job. He's won his duels, he's cleared long, he's won his aerial duels in particular, and he's a good size and he's athletic, so he's a good age as well. So yeah,
I think when you've got 3 centre backs, you can have that scenario.
That's an example again. He's hooked it and it's gone to the halfway line, but it's got distance on it, so it's away from danger.
Yeah, here's Corbett holding the ball up for Aaron Jones, who sends it inside, and that won't find the target, who I think must have been Ryan Jones. Quigley has got it, sends it forward. It's been cut out by Will Armitage. Frustration is the key word that keeps popping into my head for the shots today. In so many ways, whether it's Henry's injury, whether it's being the better side in the first half an hour but not taking any of 5 half chances. Here's Frost sending the ball in, and it's agriculturally cleared by Froncelet, but as James Rowe says, he's doing his job. I think sometimes Aldershot play with a Maghoma type player that does something similar, just wins all his duels. Tommy Widrington though really wants 3 ball playing centre halves. He's certainly got that in Woodhouse and in Scott. Corner then to the shots. Corbett is going to take. Bus stop queue forming on the edge of the area. In it comes, and it's headed up in the air, I think off Armitage, and then McDonald jumps, catches it, falls to the ground. And we are nearly 78 minutes in, and my goodness me, if Aldershot are going to do anything this afternoon, they're going to have to do it late. And their unbeaten start to 2025 in all competitions is under serious threat now. And Josh Stone's hat-trick from last week may well be matched yet by Ollie Pearce. He's got a second, 2 goals for him today. Unlove with the goal that's put Barnet ahead of Solihull Moors, and Effiong with the penalty goal against Tamworth at the Laithwaite there. So largely it's not going well here for the Shots or elsewhere, where Fylde are drawing and Woking and Wealdstone are winning. Here's Eastleigh with the ball in their own half. Fronsilette sends it out to the right side to Fernandez. He skips past Frost, goes for a 1-2. Back onto it. Scott clears it forward. Frost picks up possession. The ball's in touch. It'll be a throw to the Shots. And another minute has elapsed. We are now 79 minutes in. Still
getting to the stage now where you've got nothing to lose. You might as well lose 3-0. So you've got to change something. They've got a spare centre half. And they're gobbling up at the moment. Something needs to change.
Yeah, they may as well send Woodhouse forward or something like that. Here's Jones flicking the ball back to Hargreaves. Fronsilette will just head. Well,
that would be the last resort at maybe 85. Perhaps not now with added additional time, but maybe a change of shape with the personnel you got on there, or change of structure. I'm not sure, but it's not working.
Yeah, Jones just couldn't find a way there past Waruai, and in the end did nothing with it really. Eastleigh got it, cleared it a long way forward. It's going to come back again now. Armitage with a pretty easy ball to cut out, but Eastleigh have only headed it into the path of Aaron Jones. And Aldershot now they spread it quickly out to the left to Frost. Frost's going to take on Semenyo and send it inside, looking for Corbett, who's fouled, and Aldershot have got another free kick in what we might call Josh Barrett territory, but he's not on anymore. I think Kai Corbett is the one who, without Henry and without Barrett out there, will demand this one.
You know, remarkably, we've spoken about the referee a couple of times. He's been Eastleigh's best defender. Inside passes, got in the way 3 times this game. Just then, we got the free kick in the end, but he got in Kai's way in the initial pass.
Okay, Ryan Jones is a possible left-footed option, but it would be more suiting the right footer, and it's about 25 yards out, so it's enough to get it up and down. And Corbett has got a history of doing this. Not so much with Aldershot Town, but in his prior career. This is his sort of distance. Can he hit the target? Can he get shots back in it with just over 9 minutes to go? Corbett, oh no, he lifts it, but it's never going to come down again. And the ironic Jazz tell you all you need to know. 81 minutes gone, 2-0 to Eastleigh, and a free kick opportunity wasted. I mean, it's the perfect place to have a go from, but the quality's got to be better, hasn't it?
It has. I'm always sceptical of criticising free kick takers too much. I mean, if he gets that up and down, it's a wonder goal, isn't it? So he's got to go for it, and unfortunately he's lifted it too high.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they practice it, don't they, in training, and they'll lift that ball so many times over the figures or whatever you call them, into the top corner, and then when it comes to the actual game, it seems to desert a lot of players. I know Corbett's got the potential to do that, but he didn't show it. He didn't realise it on this occasion. More frustration for Aldershot Town. 82 minutes very nearly gone now, and really Barrett's free kick in the 50th minute. Their only kind of ooh or ah really in this second half is Barham putting the pressure on, but he goes to Fronsilette.
One time he hasn't cleared these lines, he tried to be clever, but he got caught on the back pass.
Tried to go back to McDonald, and Aldershot very nearly got in. Brad Dollahan appearing at the last minute. McDonald just hoofs it into touch away to our right. Ryan Jones is going to take this, and they signal for Luca Woodhouse to come forward, and Armitage. Ryan Jones has got a long throw in him. One of those boys drifting towards the back post there needs to come and win the header at the front post. Okay, Ryan Jones then with the long throw. Armitage is there. He flicks it on. Barham, can he get it? He gets it down, but it's cleared away from Maguire up to Waruai. Right. Waruai to Hodgson, Maguire, sorry. Back to Bootin. Bootin sends it forward, and Ollie Scott wins the header. Corbett jumps bravely, can't win it, but the ball falls nicely to Ryan Jones. He tries to get Frost in on the left, but his ball's short. Semenyo picks it up, exchange passes with Quigley, and scurries down the right hand side. He is aiming for the corner flag. Scott dives in and pokes it into touch. 83 minutes and 20, 21, 22 seconds gone. Very, very little for the Shotts fans to cheer today. It's rare that they don't score. Eastleigh, though, have scored in each of their last 14 matches. 2,794 with 780 or 18. I didn't quite catch Aldershot Town fans, which is a terrific showing. Just a
it really is. It's an outstanding. I love seeing the red and blue. It's a club close to my heart, and 718. They deserved a little bit more in the second half. They haven't got it, but it's still in the game. One goal still can change it even at this stage, because Eastleigh have conceded a lot of late goals, but I can't see it coming at the moment.
Another really poor pass position for Will Armitage. He's not had his best game today. He looks forlorn in his body language, which is not what you want to see as a player, manager or supporter. He's largely played well in his first few games for the Shotts. Southend have equalised against Rochdale. It was a Liam Hogan own goal, and elsewhere other scorelines are largely not going Aldershot's way. Throw in from Eastleigh, headed on by Armitage. Maguire though has fouled Woodhouse, and Aldershot Town are giving themselves very little time now to get back into this game. Almost 85 minutes gone. We brought James Rowe in the commentary box, hoping that his 100% record here at the Silver Lake would continue. We can't pin any of this on him because he's only watching on as I am. But the Shotts are leaving it very late. Is Scott down to Ryan Jones? He's fouled. Referee's given every little soft foul now. He's changed as the game's moved on, hasn't he?
I can't believe he hasn't let them play that. That's outrageous. Or play advantage, because he Aldershot had the ball anyway. But here we go.
Exactly. Anyway, they get the.
Can the right wing back go the other way? Jones is coming short again here. That's what he wants. Boots on. He's in front of him. He's got a threat in the shoulder at this stage.
Yeah, ball round the corner from Hargreaves. Keeper McDonald comes to the edge of the box. All too easy to defend, isn't it?
It is, and also if he pins him back and threatens the shoulder, the right centre half can step into that space. So for me, it's been too safe on the right hand side of the pitch. I think the main threat when Aldershot were having their best passages of the game as well in the first half now was down the left hand side. It's been disappointing down the right today.
Huge kick from McDonald. Is headed down by Woodhouse into the path of Ollie Scott, who I thought was fouled by Quigley. Nothing given. And then Scott plays it off of an Eastleigh player into touch. Throw into the Shotts. To remind James that in whatever it is, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, whenever the game ends, there's 86 gone. We'd like your Aldershot Town man of the match today, and that might be one of the more difficult picks. I think there's one or two players who haven't really put a foot wrong, but to win a game of football at any level, you need 7 or 8 of your players with a 7 out of 10 performance or more, don't you, really? And there hasn't been enough of them.
No, and I would probably cast my eye back to the 2 momentum shifts before the second goal. I think the first goal came out of nowhere for the home side, and then James Henry getting injured has affected the forward play of Aldershot. Whether that's me being kind or not, it's my first viewing live of Aldershot this year, but it seems to be those moments in the first half have affected the overall performance. Certainly the goalie Dewhurst made a couple of good saves this half, and I think Cameron Hargreaves has done his bit in the centre of the pitch.
I completely agree. He's the one player I think who probably you could say has barely put a foot wrong, and it's to his credit that he's in the picture most weeks when he does play. He's had a little bit of a rest mid-season. He put so many minutes in the first half of the season. Shotts have the ball, but they're being forced to pass it around where the spare man is at the minute, and there's another ball just about makes its target from Will Armitage, and great bit of play from Waruai, who as other people are tiring around him, is just
like him.
growing into the game.
He's got a future in the game.
Yeah, very definitely. There you go, you heard it here first. Wherever James Rowe ends up next, see if he nips in to sign Waruai.
Got no chance with the budget here. He's played double here of everyone else.
Corbett's gone down. The ball's come back to Frost. It's played in, half cleared away by Mayer. But
you see, that was a picture of the game for me, where it's coming to the front man, Maguire, and Armitage is a second too late.
Yeah, shots coming again with Corbett. Aldershot win another free kick, but they're just spoiling the game, Eastleigh, and you cannot blame them for doing that. Aldershot might well be bringing Luke Jenkins on and Max Mullins. Jenkins for Armitage is an absolute shoo-in, and then Mullins to come on and give us some fresh legs in the final third. I understand both those changes. I just wonder if they might have been made a little earlier, but it's a very subjective thing, isn't it? Of course, you know.
My understanding is of Luke is I've known about him for a couple of years, and he's one to watch. He's had a couple of injuries, has he?
Yeah, he's been really good, but he's just been dogged with hamstring problems all season. And he's a really fit young lad. He played every minute last season, you know.
Yeah, and he had a good season last year or the year before at Chelmsford, didn't he? So he's from my team talking about bright futures. I think he has, as long as he can overcome these injuries that he's picked up this year.
And I was wrong. Armitage is still on, maybe for his height from this free kick for starters. But the two subs are on, and in comes the free kick from Corbett, headed away by Fernandez, and Maguire will chase it. Frost should beat him. But he's lost it again into the possession of Maguire, and he's got that willing runner of Waruai onto the ball now, but he's got to come up against Cameron Hargreaves, who pushed, and it should have been a free kick. This time the ref doesn't give it.
Oh wow.
Clearly, but I've not been terrible, the ref, but he's just got too many things wrong for me.
Very lackadaisical, just very calm with it as well.
Right, Jake Taylor is the man of the match. I think he's also being replaced here, so he's going to get a little bit of an ovation as Lloyd Humphreys comes on.
There's only one man of the match, and that was Shade.
Tyrese Shade for you. And excellent. First part in the first goal, and then scores the second goal. And Jake Taylor, understandably, taking his time to come off. And I probably didn't give you the two shots players who've gone off when Jenkins and Mullins came off.
And there's the difference in the investment. The three subs for Eastleigh: Quigley, Maguire and Humphreys. The amount of appearances you can add up between the three of them compared to Aldershot subs.
Absolutely. Good point, James. Here comes Ryan Jones over halfway. Frost is over on this right side now. Luca Woodhouse has bombed forward, and he's inadvertently ghosted onto a ball. He tries to get it in. It's cut out by Hodson, up in the air. Just slight hands from Woodhouse on Hodson. Hodson knew he was coming. Over he goes. Free kick to Eastleigh. And the 90 minutes are up. I don't know if the added time was just shown, but I missed it. Sam, did you see it? Five added minutes. And Aldershot Town need a couple of key moments here. If they're going to get anything out of this one this afternoon, their unbeaten record in 2025 is slipping away.
Yeah, they've got to accumulate points. It's getting hairy down there now. It's not nice to see.
Yeah, you can take a defeat on the chin from time to time, as long as you bounce back with 3 points. And that's something Aldershot have struggled to do in recent months in the league. It's going to be their first league defeat since mid-December, but it's going to hurt when we see those other score lines as Woking continue to pull away. No, they don't. Tamworth have got level. So
the happiest I've seen you all afternoon.
Can't comment on that. Tamworth with a potential 39th point of the season. Shots are still on 30. Throw in taken into Quigley, holds it up. Maguire has been dispossessed. Yeah, it's still 2-0. Aldershot have never really looked like getting back into it in the second half, Tim. We are well into the second 2.5 minutes actually of 5 to be added. So that's Semenyo and Shade goals in the first half. Look like they're going to bring all 3 points to Eastleigh. They're going to stay here at the Silver Lake. Shots have thrown on a couple more subs, but to be perfectly honest, all they've done in the second half is huffed and puffed. Fair play to Eastleigh. From the minute they went ahead today, Tim, they've deserved to win this game 2-0 and less than 2 minutes of added time to go. Mullins wins a header. Humphreys just volleys it towards goal, bounces once. Dewhurst picks it up, rolls it out to Ryan Jones. Aldershot have got 4 men in the forward line, but the pass can't find its target. And Bootin does well. He finds a player, he gets it back, continues his run, finds Maguire. Maguire sends it on again. Dewhurst comes out of his area. He clears it. He's fouled as he does so. Free kick to the Shots. It's ended Southend 1, Rochdale 1. Barnet have got a third against Solihull Moors in added time. Barnet 3, Solihull Moors 1. Here's Ryan Jones down the left, gives the ball to Corbett, gets it back, continues his run, dribbles past one, and now he gives it to Corbett again on the left. Corbett looks to send it in, headed away by Moai, only to Hargreaves, edge of the box. Tries the volley, and you know where it's ended up, listeners, from the noise around us. High and not very handsome. Very nearly 94 minutes of the 95 gone. Eastleigh 2, Shots 0. And with any further words of wisdom you've got left there, James Rowe?
We were saying at half time offline that Aldershot needed to start fast and get the next goal, but if we're being brutally honest, the results really never looked in danger from the first minute of the second half. So need to bounce back quickly from this.
They'll get an early chance to do so away at Southend, who've drawn with Rochdale this afternoon. Another side that will probably feel they've had too many draws, but Rochdale, no pushovers for anybody, got a lot of games in hand. Could still play a part in the title race. Here's a huge ball forward.
Who's the next game? Is it Southend or Rochdale?
Southend away.
Southend away.
Okay, there is the final whistle. Cheers, of course, from the Eastleigh fans, and the Shots fans will applaud their side off, but no real moments today to take home with them. The 780 Aldershot Town fans this afternoon. It's not been a good afternoon at the Silver Lake. Goals coming in the 30th and 43rd minute for Eastleigh from some of their liveliest players, Semenyo and Tyrese Shade, who James Rowe would give the man of the match to. With his final summing up, and I think just confirmation, unless I misheard you, that Cameron Hargreaves is your Aldershot Town man of the match. James Rowe?
Both him and I think the goalie Marcus were probably the Aldershot's best players, but Cameron didn't really put a foot wrong, so Cameron Hargreaves. But a disappointing second half. It looked promising in the first half an hour. Technically the better sides, played the structure better with matching up on shapes, but I think Eastleigh have won that purely physically. I think they never looked in danger. Bigger, quicker, stronger, and a disappointing second half, as I said.
Brilliant to have you alongside us, James. I would have loved it to have been with an Aldershot Town win, of course, as would those listening on around the country and around the world. You might not know this, but next Saturday, when Aldershot take on Hartlepool at home, the supporters are calling it the return of the Strays, and over 50 Aldershot supporters from around the country and from around the world. There's people coming from America, from Saudi Arabia, from Tenerife, and from other countries as well, to come and support the Shots against Hartlepool. So that's one to look forward to next week. And I know you got fond memories of the Shots fans from your time at the EBB.
No, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, and where I've been since, or before and since my time at Aldershot, it's the number one family club for me, and it doesn't surprise me at all that what's going on next week. And it pains me to see the result today, but it's great to be here with you, Rob, and it's great to see so many supporters. And again, seeing Ian, who was the assistant kit manager when I was with Wads back in 2015-16. I mean, it's great to see familiar faces, and I've got a real love for the club, and that continues no matter what.
Brilliant stuff. We love to have you alongside us today, and we hope you can join us again. But we also hope that we see you back in the dugout soon, National League or above, who knows. Yes, final score here at the Silver Lake, Tim, is 2-0 to Eastleigh. No complaints in the end. Aldershot shaded the first half an hour, but half chances for Henry on a couple of occasions, and Tyler Frost on a couple of occasions did not hit the mark, and Eastleigh punished them on the half-hour mark. Wonderful goal on the transition. Tyrese Shade, Chegbalum and Semenyo with the finish, all involved. Shade then beat Widrington one-on-one and fired low down to Dewhurst's left just before half-time, and that was the goal scoring. Eastleigh did everything asked of him in the second half just to snuff this one out. In fact, they could have extended their lead, but for a couple of good saves from Marcus Dewhurst. Dewhurst and Hargreaves the pick for the shots, according to our summariser this afternoon, James Rowe. But the shots will head home, not too far at least, Tim, but with nothing. No goals and no points from the Silver Lake. 2-0 Eastleigh. Yes, funnily enough, we just talked about it online actually with James. It's the return of the Strays. Over 50 shot supporters from around the country and around the world. So quite a few from the north of England coming down, a couple flying over from Ireland, at least 2 flying over, if not 3 from the USA, and 1 from Saudi Arabia, 1 or 2 from Tenerife, and they're just the ones that spring to mind. So the return of the Strays next Saturday. We'll pay tribute to that again in our reports and in commentary from the EBB next Saturday. Prior to then, though, the shots will go to Roots Hall on Tuesday night and try and bounce back from this defeat at Southend. Thanks for being able to report into you throughout the afternoon. Have a good one and a good rest of the weekend to our listeners. All right, listeners online, we are pretty much done. I'm going to pack up, shake James Rowe warmly by the hand and go and get some post-match from the Shots management team. Thanks for joining us, and we'll speak to you again on Tuesday night from Roots Hall. James, thanks for joining us. All the best.
Bye-bye.
Cheers now.